Ever wondered why some INFJs seem to have an extra edge, a certain genie-sized quoi that sets them apart from the rest? Well, buckle up, cause we're about to dive deep into the fascinating world of INFJ and their enigmatic cousin, the Sigma INFJ. Hey there, fellow personality enthusiasts. Today we're going to unravel the mystery behind why INFJ are born, but Sigma INFJ are made. It's a journey that'll take us through the twists and turns of personality development, social dynamics, and self-discovery. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get this show on the road. Now, before we jump in, let's get one thing straight: INFJ are already pretty darn unique. They're the rarest personality type out there, making up just a tiny slice of the population pie. But within this rare group, there's an even more elusive subtype, the Sigma INFJ. These folks aren't just born, they're forged through experiences, choices, and a whole lot of personal growth. So, what's the deal with INFJ being born? Well, it all starts with genetics and early childhood experiences. You see, when we talk about INFJ being born, we're not saying they pop out of the womb with a full-blown personality type. It's more like they've got a predisposition, a certain set of traits that are likely to develop into the INFJ personality as they grow up. INFJ are known for their intuition, empathy, and depth of thought. These traits aren't just learned behaviors, they're hardwired into the INFJ's brain from the get-go. It's like they've got a built-in superpower for understanding people and picking up on subtle cues that others might miss. Think about it like this: an INFJ's brain is like a finely tuned instrument, ready to play a symphony of emotions and insights. They're naturally inclined to look beneath the surface, to seek out the hidden meanings in every interaction. It's not something they consciously decide to do, it's just how their minds work. But here's where things get really interesting. While INFJ might be born with this incredible potential, the Sigma INFJ is a whole different ballgame. These folks take the inherent traits of an INFJ and crank them up to 11. They're the rebels, the free thinkers, the ones who don't just march to the beat of their own drum, they've composed an entire symphony. So, what makes a Sigma INFJ? Well, it's not just about being an introvert or having strong intuition. It's about how they navigate the world, how they interact with others, and most importantly, how they view themselves. Sigma INFJ are like the lone wolves of the personality world. They're independent, confident, and not afraid to challenge the status quo. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, aren't all INFJ a bit like that? And you'd be right to ask. INFJ are known for their strong values and desire to make the world a better place. But Sigma INFJ take it to a whole new level. They're not just idealists, they're revolutionaries in their own right. Let's break it down a bit. Your average INFJ might feel a strong sense of purpose and want to help others. They're empathetic, caring, and often put others' needs before their own. And while these are all awesome traits, they can sometimes lead to INFJ feeling drained or taken advantage of. Enter the Sigma INFJ. These folks have learned often through tough experiences to balance their natural empathy with a healthy dose of self-preservation. They've figured out how to use their intuitive powers not just for others, but for themselves too. It's like they've unlocked a secret level in the game of life. But here's the kicker: becoming a Sigma INFJ isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process, a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. It's about taking those innate INFJ traits and refining them, sharpening them into powerful tools for navigating the world. So, how does an INFJ become a Sigma INFJ? Well, it often starts with challenges. Maybe they've been burned one too many times by putting others first. Or perhaps they've found themselves in situations where their natural inclination to avoid conflict has left them feeling powerless. Whatever the trigger, it sparks a change. Sigma INFJ learn to set boundaries. They realize that their empathy is a gift, but it's not meant to be given away freely to everyone they meet. They start to value their own needs and desires just as much as they value others. It's not about becoming selfish, it's about finding balance. They also develop a strong sense of self-reliance. While INFJ are often drawn to deep, meaningful relationships, Sigma INFJ have learned to be comfortable on their own. They don't need constant validation or approval from others. They've found their own inner compass and they trust it implicitly. But here's the thing: becoming a Sigma INFJ isn't about rejecting their INFJ nature. It's about embracing it fully and then taking it to the next level. They still have all that intuition, all that empathy, all that depth of thought. They've just learned how to channel it in ways that serve them better. Think of it like this: if being an INFJ is like having a superpower, becoming a Sigma INFJ is like learning to control and direct that power. It's the difference between Spider-Man first discovering he can climb walls and Spider-Man swinging confidently through the city, knowing exactly what he's capable of. Now, you might be wondering, is being a Sigma INFJ better than being a regular INFJ? And that's a tricky question to answer. It's not about better or worse, it's about different paths and different ways of navigating the world. Regular INFJ have their own strengths. They're often the glue that holds communities together, the ones who can always be counted on for a listening ear or a shoulder to cry on. They're the peacemakers, the healers, the ones who can see the best in everyone. Sigma INFJ, on the other hand, are more likely to be the catalysts for change. They're the ones who aren't afraid to shake things up, to challenge the way things have always been done. They're still compassionate and empathetic, but they've learned to direct that energy in more focused, strategic ways. But here's the real kicker: the journey from INFJ to Sigma INFJ isn't a straight line. It's not like there's a checklist you can tick off and boom, you're a Sigma INFJ. It's a winding path full of ups and downs, twists and turns. Sometimes it might mean going against the grain of what feels natural to an INFJ. For example, INFJ are often people pleasers. They hate the idea of disappointing others or causing conflict. But a Sigma INFJ has learned that sometimes you need to ruffle a few feathers to make real change happen. This doesn't mean they've become cold or uncaring. Far from it. They've just learned to channel their care and concern in more effective ways. They've realized that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is tell someone a hard truth they need to hear. Another key aspect of the Sigma INFJ is their relationship with solitude. Now, all INFJ need their alone time to recharge. But Sigma INFJ have taken this to an art form. They've learned to not just tolerate solitude, but to thrive in it. They use their alone time not just to recover from social interactions, but to dive deep into their own thoughts and ideas. This comfort with solitude often translates into a strong sense of independence. Sigma INFJ don't feel the need to conform to social norms or expectations. They're not bothered by being the odd one out. In fact, they often relish it. They've learned to trust their own judgment above the opinions of others. But let's be real for a second. Becoming a Sigma INFJ isn't all sunshine and roses. It often comes with its fair share of struggles and growing pains. INFJ who start down this path might find themselves feeling more isolated at first. They might struggle with feelings of guilt as they start to prioritize their own needs more. And here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: the process of becoming a Sigma INFJ can be downright uncomfortable at times. It often means confronting parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. It means challenging deeply ingrained habits and beliefs. It's like renovating a house. Sometimes you've got to tear things down before you can build them back up stronger. But for many INFJ, the discomfort is worth it. They find that as they embrace their Sigma traits, they're able to make a bigger impact on the world. They're able to stand up for their beliefs more effectively. They're able to pursue their goals with more focus and determination. Now let's talk about how this transformation affects relationships. INFJ are known for their deep, meaningful connections with others. But Sigma INFJ often find that the quality of their relationships improves, even if the quantity might decrease. You see, Sigma INFJ are more selective about who they let into their inner circle. They've learned that not everyone deserves access to their deepest thoughts and feelings. This might mean they have fewer close friends, but the friendships they do have are rock solid. In romantic relationships, Sigma INFJ often find they're better able to maintain their sense of self. They're less likely to lose themselves in a relationship or to compromise their values for the sake of harmony. This can lead to more authentic, balanced partnerships. But it's not just about personal relationships. The Sigma INFJ often finds that their professional life gets a boost too. Their increased confidence and willingness to stand out can open up new opportunities. They're more likely to take risks, to put themselves out there in ways that might have seemed scary before. This doesn't mean they suddenly become extroverted networkers. They're still INFJ at heart, after all. But they've learned to navigate professional settings in a way that plays to their strengths. They might become the quiet but respected voice of reason in meetings, or the one people turn to when they need a fresh perspective on a problem. One of the most interesting aspects of the Sigma INFJ is how they handle conflict. Regular INFJ often go to great lengths to avoid conflict, sometimes at the cost of their own well-being. Sigma INFJ, on the other hand, have learned that conflict isn't always bad. They've developed the skills to handle disagreements in a calm, rational way. This doesn't mean they go looking for fights, but when conflict does arise, they're able to stand their ground without losing their cool. They've learned to express their opinions and needs clearly, without feeling like they're being selfish or mean. Now let's talk about creativity. INFJ are already known for their rich inner worlds and imaginative thinking. But Sigma INFJ often take this to new heights. They're more likely to pursue unconventional ideas or to challenge established ways of thinking. This creative thinking isn't limited to artistic pursuits, although many Sigma INFJ do excel in creative fields. It extends to problem solving, to coming up with innovative solutions in their personal and professional lives. They're the ones who might suggest a completely out-of-the-box approach that nobody else had considered. But perhaps one of the most profound changes in the journey from INFJ to Sigma INFJ is in how they view themselves. INFJ often struggle with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. They might downplay their abilities or feel like they don't quite fit in anywhere. Sigma INFJ, on the other hand, have learned to embrace their uniqueness. They've come to see their differences not as flaws, but as strengths. They're more comfortable in their own skin, more confident in their abilities. This doesn't mean they've become arrogant. They still have that INFJ humility, but they've learned to balance it with a healthy sense of self-worth. So what does all this mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, it's a reminder that personality types aren't static. We're not locked into one way of being just because we fall into a certain category. The journey from INFJ to Sigma INFJ shows that we have the power to shape our personalities, to grow and evolve. It's also a testament to the resilience and adaptability of INFJ. The very traits that make them sensitive and empathetic also give them the potential for incredible strength and independence. It's like they've got a secret superpower hiding just beneath the surface, waiting to be unleashed. But here's the thing, not every INFJ needs to become a Sigma INFJ. It's not a mandatory upgrade or a higher level to be achieved. It's simply a different path, one that some INFJ find themselves drawn to based on their experiences and choices. And let's be clear, being a Sigma INFJ doesn't mean rejecting all the wonderful qualities that make INFJ special. It's about taking those qualities and channeling them in new ways. It's about finding a balance between caring for others and caring for oneself. So whether you're an INFJ wondering if you might be on the path to becoming a Sigma, or you're just curious about how personality types can evolve, remember this: we all have the potential for growth and change. We're not defined by our personality type, we're defined by how we choose to use our unique traits and abilities. In conclusion, the journey from INFJ to Sigma INFJ is a fascinating example of how our personalities can evolve and adapt. It shows us that while we might be born with certain tendencies, we have the power to shape our personalities through our experiences and choices. The INFJ is born with a unique set of traits: intuition, empathy, depth of thought. But the Sigma INFJ is made through a process of self-discovery, personal growth, and learning to balance their innate qualities with a strong sense of self. This journey isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming a more fully realized version of who you already are. It's about taking those INFJ superpowers and learning to use them in ways that serve both yourself and others. So whether you're an INFJ, a Sigma INFJ, or any other personality type, remember this: you have the power to grow, to change, to become the best version of yourself. Your personality type is a starting point, not a final destination. The rest of the journey? Well, that's up to you. And who knows? Maybe you're on your own journey of self-discovery right now. Maybe you're in the process of becoming your own unique version of a Sigma personality. Whatever path you're on, embrace it. Learn from it. And most importantly, enjoy the ride. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being born this way, or that it's about what you choose to make of yourself along the way.